Welcome to Master Mixes on YouTube. My name's Dean Serneels, and if I was a carpenter, I would be talking about nails and screws today. But I'm a bartender, so I'm talking about ice cubes. Ice cubes come in all kinds of different shapes and sizes and different varieties of purity. Let's talk about all kinds of different styles of ice that you might come across in your path of creating cocktails and get a little insight on why I like to use specific types of ice. 5 different ice cubes in front of me today, or styles of ice. These are the little pellets that come out of your freezer. They're very convenient because you just walk to your freezer and get them. However, when I'm using this to make some classic cocktails, when these are freezing in your freezer, there's lots of air going around in the freezer, and there's different smells and impurities coming off the other ingredients that might be in the freezer, and they are going to get inside this ice, and when we make cocktails with it, we will actually get some of that stale air and some other flavors that you might not want in your cocktail. So I don't try to use these to actually make classic cocktails with. Moving on from that, or to improve from that, bagged ice that you can get at the grocery store or your gas station. This is bagged ice. It's pretty clear. They use some fairly good water when they're making the bagged ice, and they're big, clunky chunks. So when I shake them up, I'm getting lots of cold off of them, and there's lots of great surface area on them. So I actually do like using these to make cocktails with. And when they sit in the glass, they fill the glass, and when the drink fills around it, they look really sharp. That's all I gotta say about that. Now, pebble ice, you can get this at some of the fast food stores or your home fridges and whatnot. So anyway, here is crushed ice or pebble ice. It's very thin. As soon as I start to pour the drink over it, it will quickly dilute and open up. So I want to make sure that I'm pouring a cold drink over top of that. You'll use it in mint juleps and whatnot when we're pouring the spirits over. That way the ice melts really fast into the drink and helps dilute it. Big blocks of ice. Now here's where we're getting to the big daddy right here. This is a block of ice that I just froze again in the freezer. You'll see lots of white in there. That's the impurities again from the freezer, the impurities of the water, as well as oxygen that is inside the ice cube there, all right? All of that hardens right near the bottom of the ice cube. So how do we make clear ice? I'm gonna tell you in just a few minutes how to make a perfectly clear piece of ice. You can spend hundreds of dollars online buying equipment, or after today, you can make it for about 30 bucks. Now that we've talked about some of the different versions of ice out there, let's get into 2 of the pieces of ice that are the most important for me when I'm creating my own cocktails. One is the bagged ice. We want to use this great bagged ice because I can shake drinks with it, I can present with it, I can do absolutely anything with this, knowing that it's going to be a good quality ice. But if I want to get to the big guy, the one that everyone talks about, how do you get clear ice? It's not boiling water. It's not distilled water, all right? Although those are helpful, you can go online and buy very expensive pieces of equipment as well. Or here's how to do it really cheap with just a very simple cooler and some ice cube trays. Here's what I've done to change my ice cube trays to make this work. We fill this with water, all right? It's filled all the way up to the top with water, and then I'm going to float these on the top. Now, what you may notice is that I have cut holes in the bottom of my ice cube trays, okay? Just cut them with the scissors. It's not very pretty, it's nothing. It's just a hole in the bottom of it. So when this sits inside the pond of water here, the water is going to get right through, and this will just sit inside. There's a lot of mixologists out there that will freeze this entire thing, pull it out, and then try to cut the clear piece of ice off the top. And I said, well, why don't we just put the trays in the top? It's absolutely perfect. So the trays sit in the top. What happens? Just like when you're outside in the winter time and there's a pond, because the cooler is insulated around all 5 sides of it, the cold air will come in from the top. The cold air from your freezer will come in from the top, and microscopic layer after layer is going to freeze the water, pushing it down and slowly freezing it. I have done this with water with food coloring inside it just to see how perfect it is. And it pushed every drop of food coloring, every bit of impurity, and all the little bits of oxygen. So you don't get any of that white impurity inside the ice cube, and it makes a great, perfectly clear cube that you can read through if you wanted. So it's really that simple. Just cut holes in your ice cube trays and put them in here. I've had circular ice cubes in here. You can put anything you want in there, and it just looks like that. It's full of water. Put that in the freezer. Let it be for 18 to 24 hours, and you can peel the top off. Let it go too long and the whole thing will freeze, and then you're gonna wrestle to get it out. But I'm gonna leave you to fight that challenge, all right? Anyway, great clear ice cube, and I couldn't possibly talk this long about perfectly clear ice cubes without making a drink. All right, Master of Mixes helping us out to sweeten this beautiful cocktail. I've got some Cristalino tequila, which is a new style of tequila. It's very clean and very crisp, and it's perfect with this drink. Little simple syrup from Master of Mixes, cane sugar and water mixed together, and just a few dashes of a pink bitters. All right, let's stir this up. And I already have my perfectly clear ice cube inside here. I want to pour a little bit of that melted water out and strain this drink over top of the ice cube. There's no better way to show off your great artistry and your perfect cocktail creations than a perfectly clear piece of ice that you can see right through. I'm Dean Serneels with Master of Mixes. We'll see you next time.